Hey everybody, it's the Review Revolution coming at you with the next in the Toy Biz Marvel Legends Galactus series, Professor X. Oh, getting so close to Galactus. He's so close. Here we have Professor X. And here we say this package includes the head of Galactus. Very nice. Comes with a 32-page comic, which actually I think I have this issue. I'm almost sure. On the back, now I haven't talked about the packaging a whole lot. I'm just kind of skimming over it. It's really just the standard Toy Biz packaging. Once you've seen it, it's just the clamshell. See enough times, it's there. But for the figures, we've gone over Nightcrawler, did Bullseye, War Machine, Doctor Strange, First Appearance Hulk, Deathlock, and Professor X. And of course, completed, we will have the awesomeness of Galactus. Up at the top, we've got Lex Luthor. Seriously though, if you looked at that picture, you could pass that off. You could put Lex Luthor underneath there. You wouldn't know. I always thought that way. Whenever I saw a picture of Professor X, it was just like a portrait of him. I kept thinking, you know what? You could just call that Lex Luthor. Where's the difference? Telepath, teacher, visionary. The planet's most powerful mutant is also its most compassionate leader. In pursuit of his dream for peaceful coexistence between Homo sapien and Homo superior, Professor Charles Xavier established his school for gifted youngsters to help a select class of troubled teenagers hone their strange abilities and protect society from those who would use such gifts to rule mankind. Today, as ever, he and his X-Men stand in defense of a world on the brink of genetic war. So, very cool. And you gotta admit, that was good reading. But, pause is necessary for his stats. But for the rest of us, we're going to go ahead and move on. Pop them out of the pack, take a look at the figure. So, be right back. Alright, everybody, welcome back. And, I was going to say Lex out of the pack again. But seriously, though, actually, if you take a look at the sculpt, Professor X actually is a really nice figure. It's got a great suit sculpt. Looks really, really nice. Particularly like how on the jacket, it's made of kind of the soft plastic that you expect from, the DC Universe characters, kind of the, traditional Four Horsemen material. But I like how it's kind of a little flailed open at the front. Like how the sleeves, the whole look of the jacket, it all fits in really well. It's actually really nicely done. It's very basic, but it actually has a lot of class to it. It's exactly the kind of look that I like and I would expect from Professor Xavier. It's actually really good. The face is probably the one part I probably have the biggest issue with. And it's just that the paint on it is actually rather flat. He's got a good color to him. It's not heavy application. It looks pretty good. But again, it's all pretty monotone. Plus, the sculpt on the face is a little bland, I think. It certainly, if this is Professor Xavier, it seems to be a much younger Xavier than the one we may know, or some of the Xavier, the image of the character we may think of. And that fits because certainly in the comic that comes with it, which actually I was wrong, I don't have that particular issue, I do now. It does show him, from the time he was younger, and just some flashbacks, as he, from some key moments in his life. So having this look of Xavier could have been very much an intentional type of thing, but it is different. It is a much younger Xavier in the way he looks, and not really the kind of thing I expected. Does it detach? Okay, does it take away from the character? There go my Porky Pig. Does it take away from the character? Not at all. It's still a great Xavier, and one that if you're building your X-Men with the Marvel Legends, you'll have to have him. He's great. One thing I do like is, of course, that he's not molded into his chair. You can't get him to stand up. And the chair itself, well, actually, Comes with the helmet of Cerebro. Thank you. And the chair, which I think I read somewhere that this chair is actually reused from the Professor X from the X-Men movie, which wouldn't really surprise me. I mean, it looks like it could very well be the case. But then again, you know, you got a Charles Xavier chair, a mechanical chair that works. Hey, I'm fine using it again. The yellow hover chair that he had, I don't know if this is true or not, but I read somewhere that they were actually going to release a Charles Xavier in his yellow hover chair in the wave called the Legendary Riders. Now, whether that's true or not, I think that's in pretty bad taste that you put Charles Xavier, a man who's confined to a wheelchair, in a line called Legendary Riders. Bad taste, guys. Bad taste. Funny idea, but bad taste. The figure. Now, let me go over his articulation real quick. His head does go up and down, side to side. The arm is on a ball hinge. Twist the bicep, double joint at the elbow, twist at the wrist, hinge on the hand, and fingers. His hands are posed open, which I don't really care for that. I've mentioned that before. Open hands I don't really like, but in this case, you'll see when he's in the chair, it works. Twist of the waist, no crunch of any kind, don't need it. Leg comes out again, twist the thigh, double joint at the knee, hinge at the ankle and at the toe. Hinge at the ankle. I know my hands are all getting in the way here. Now you might have seen when I turned him around that he's got two pegs on his back. Of course, on the chair there are two pegs there. So what that does is that you sit him down and you will peg him into the chair. Oops. There we go. And his feet do peg down here, though it's not absolutely necessary. He fits just fine, like so. The hands, being open, can just lay across the control panel, like so. Excuse me. And I'm trying to fight against time here, but he can wear the Cerebro helmet and actually uses open hands as part of his operation of Cerebro. I will probably keep him in his chair without Cerebro, surrounded by the other X-Men. But a very nice character, very nicely sculpted. Certainly one that I would say even if you're not collecting Galactus, it's a great figure. It's a really nice one. And certainly, like I said, one you're going to want to have with the other X-Men. Lastly, of course, well, not necessarily lastly, but we do have the instructions for putting Galactus together, which is coming up. He did come with the 2005 catalog for the Fantastic Four, the Uncanny X-Men, number 117. Again, I kind of went over that a little bit. But lastly, he's got the final piece of the Galactus that we needed, his head. And I'm not sure if you can catch it in my light, but of course he has the square pupils, great paint job on the skin, on the face, nice details. Bland on the back, but nice in the front. So now that we've got all the pieces to Galactus together, we'll be putting Galactus together soon, but not just yet. As I was pointing out all the other characters, I never did point out that Bullseye and the First Appearance Hulk have variants. And those are actually the two we're going to hit on lastly, is we're going to go ahead and do the variants, and then we're going to take a look at the wave and see Galactus completed. So for now, this has been the Review Revolution saying rate, comment, subscribe, join the revolution, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.